Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Ruben Dua. I'm the CEO and founder of Dub, and I would like to share a really powerful story about upselling and how sometimes the gold is right in front of us. So, this story actually starts about 6 years ago, where I was consulting for a CEO of a mid-market company, and he was growing, but he felt like a certain sector, a certain aspect of his business was sort of stalled. And I think that his goal at that point was to say, you know what, I'm okay investing into advertising. I'm okay in spending some money on acquiring new leads for the business, as long as there's an automation system. So that's where, of course, I enter the scene and I say, okay, great. This is what we can do. We can build an automated system that allows your prospects to go into a system where basically they get nurtured. And there's a series of emails. If it's opt in, there's some SMS that can go out. And as a result, we can increase the conversion rate. So the first question that I ask, of course, is who is your audience? What are they trying to accomplish? What problem are they trying to solve? And what value can we provide to them? And we went through a sort of a long kind of back and forth, took a couple of days to go through this really interesting discovery process to determine who the ideal client profile was, which is that's one of my favorite types of strategy sessions to have, to figure out who exactly are we advertising to, who are we marketing to, who is our core true target audience. And the most interesting thing about this is that we start with a circle this big, and then we go to this big, and then this big, and this big, and this big, and we realize it's actually, even though the total addressable market might be this big, our actual ICP is significantly smaller, at least as a starting point until we scale up, right? So when Uber started, Uber didn't cater to everyone with a phone that wanted to get from point A to point E to point A to point B. Uber said, we are going to go to high-end black car sort of service, white glove kind of treatment, and it's going to be really expensive. It's going to be a premium service, and then we're going to get proof of concept, proof of market in there. And then, of course, the rest is history. Now you can get a burrito for $10 on Uber. So it's all about like that starting point. But I think what was really interesting about this conversation was that when we started to determine who this target audience is and where we are going to acquire those leads, there was this big aha moment that we had. And I said, so do you have an existing database? Do you have a CRM? Do you have a CSV file, an Excel file, some sort of a ERP? I don't know, enter whatever acronym you want of whatever software platform you want. Do you have leads? Do you have human beings that are interested and ready and warm and ready to rock and roll? Because if you do, we should focus on those people first. Now, if you don't, that's okay. We can go spend money. We can get channel partners. We can get advertisements. We can spend money on Facebook and LinkedIn and Google and YouTube and TikTok, Instagram, all the various channels. But if you have a list of contacts, let's focus on those. And what he told me was one of the most interesting things that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. He says, well, I have a database of leads, it's contacts, it's people that have signed up on this secondary site that I have, but I don't really know if we should use them because they're not really in our target audience. He said, I'd prefer to go spend money on ads and generate new leads. And I said, okay, well, tell me about these people. Who are they? Where did they sign up? Where they opt in? He's like, yeah, well, I have a secondary site that's has an interesting value proposition, basically content and interactive tool that people can use. And then if they're interested, they receive this information, this data, and then they can, of course, sign up if they want to get more. And I said, okay. And I said, who are these people? And what he explained to me was that they're basically the exact target audience that he's looking for. But for some reason, he was blocked. He was blocked in that he couldn't figure out a way to feel comfortable upselling to those people. And instead, of course, he wanted to go find fresh, new people out in the wild. Now here's the problem. The problem is that anyone in sales or marketing knows that it takes 6 to 12 touch points to actually get some sort of a sale. When I say touch points, I mean emails, SMS, phone calls, a demo, watching a video, a nurture campaign, a retargeting ad, a word of mouth, a testimonial, case study. All of those are touch points, and all of those touch points drive a conversion, because ultimately one of the biggest problems that we have as sales and marketing professionals is how we overcome that, how we sort of solve the hurdle of the trust issue. I don't trust someone that I've met on the internet. I don't trust what they're selling. I don't know if it's going to solve my problems. I don't know if I'm going to get cognitive dissonance, which is I bought the thing and then I have massive anxiety or post-purchase regrets, basically. So there was a mental block that he had, and I realized in having a conversation with him, a really honest, empathetic conversation, that he felt like what he was selling was not valuable to those people since they didn't opt in or sign up for that. And I said, I understand that. That makes sense to me. Those people didn't come to you and say, I want to buy product B. I was just interested in product A. And there's that jump. And that is exactly what upselling is about. So, first and foremost, I think that upselling is about providing value. It's about saying you have expressed some sort of an issue, a conflict that you have, and we've potentially provided a solution to you. Maybe we didn't get it to the finish line, maybe we did, but there's something else that you might also be suffering from. And we'd like to know if you're interested in this. And I think it's all about the framing. I think it's all about the positioning, where if you're honest, if you say, last year you came to us and you wanted to buy product A, we'd like to let you know that we have product B. And we'd like to know if you're interested in this. One of my favorite companies is Noble Shoes. And Noble Shoes, I'm going to share this in a moment. Noble Shoes has such an interesting community, such an interesting tribe behind their business. The interesting thing about this, let's bring this up. This is Noble. So I own a pair of Nobles. These shoes cost, when I bought them, they were $130. Now they bumped their prices. Now they're like, I think I bought this style, and now some of their shoes are like $170. It's crazy. It's amazing. The reason why I think this company commands such a high price is because of the community that they've built. You feel like you're part of a tribe, part of a club. It's the first thing that you see when you go to their social accounts, or in this case, right on their homepage. Let's take a look at some of these. They're so cool. I mean, they're super interesting. Look at this. Training shoes. Like, the style is unique. It's super different. It's not something like, there's a nice little discount. It's not something that you've seen before. Some of the styles get really interesting, super cool. Like, look at that. Like, you never seen shoes like this. These are $170. So every week this company sends me an email, and I have not unsubscribed from their newsletter yet, because they're always showing me the new stuff that they're coming out with. They started with a trainer, and they went to a court shoe, and now they've got a comfort shoe, and now they got a high top, and now they got a mid top. Now they got new styles. They got a new brand, a new collaboration. Every single week they send me some update on something cool that they're doing. And I feel like I'm part of their process, which is so interesting and so fun for me to be a part of. Upselling is about providing value. Upselling is about figuring out a way to figure out who your core audience is, who your community is, and how you can continue to provide value to them. I'll leave you with another success story, another case study about my friend Paige Batcher, who runs a great company called Kismet Ideas, and she has a Facebook group and a whole brand around story selling. And I think that Paige has done a really good job of building a community based on upselling, right? She has a tribe, she has a Facebook group, and she's always figuring out ways to innovate. She's always figuring out ways to say, last week you came to us looking for a solution on video selling. What if you come to us this week looking for a solution on social media or building an automated workflow? So she's always figuring out ways to not just upsell in a sort of a tacky kind of a way. It's to continue to solve problems, to continue to scale together. And in fact, what happens as a result of that is upsell turns into social proof. It turns into testimonials and case studies. If you go and you Google Paige on Facebook or the internet, you'll find people writing stories about her. In fact, the first result right here is from Doug, the Empower Effect with Paige Batcher. Paige is a master at telling stories, upselling, and building community. And I think we should all be like Paige the next time we want to say, where are the leads that we need to sell to? Should we go spend money on those ad channels, or should we go to the existing audience that we already have? Folks, if you enjoyed this content, please consider liking and subscribing to this channel and leave a comment. Let me know what upselling means to you. And I can't wait to see you at the next video. And if you want to create an amazing video email newsletter, or if you want to send one-to-one video messages so that you can upsell like a pro, consider signing up to Dub with a free trial at dub.com. See you guys at the next video. Bye.